Now, this session is all about how to pitch your own products or services. Okay, like for example, when someone calls me, we have created a chronological order of services in 2 different parallel levels. Okay, the first level is property deals, property finance, architectural services, builders, planners, training, mentoring, right? The whole bunch. You can almost say it's a one-stop shop if someone wants to invest in properties, right? They can come. If they want deals, we'll provide them deals. If they want finance, we'll help them with finance. If they want, for example, builders, architects, planners, we have multiple collaborations. And if they want training and mentoring, we can do that. And then parallel to that, we have something called a referral program, which is free to join. They can join. They either bring an investor or they bring a landlord or a deal. And then when we get the deal done, we split 50-50 with them. But it's free to join. First level is free to join. Second level is inner circle. Okay, and I'm going to share, once I've shared this, I'll share with you how I normally pitch. Okay, so let's say the second level is inner circle. Inner circle is all about if someone wants to sell their deals through our database and or if they want exclusivity to our deals. As well as if they're looking for investors, as long as the deal stacks up, we will bring an investor on board. We don't promise, but we say we can bring someone on the table. The reason we don't promise is because it depends a lot on them as well as the deal, okay? And at the same time, we have the third layer within that, which is property trainings, and then PE and representative model, and then PE and mentoring, and then we have PE and club, which is practically based on raising investors' money, which we will invest into our projects. Now, can you all see that this is a chronological order? Someone calls me up, he says, you have no money, but I want to get started. How can I do that? They join the referral program. Someone is an agent, they're already selling deals. They join the inner circle. If let's say someone wants to just be a passive investor, they join the PE and club, or for that matter, if they want trainings, mentoring, and if they want to be full-time into this and want to eventually pursue property as a full-time, they can become representatives. Can you see the chronological order of things? Please raise your hand if you can see that running parallelly with services. Please raise your hand if you can see that. Now imagine I am either pitching at an event, or let's say if someone calls me up and they want to ask about our services. Now, first of all, we are like a one-stop shop. We can't help with everything, but we can help with most of the things, if I may say so. Everything I don't say because there are certain kinds of deals that we don't come close to, but there are most things that we can do. But at the same time, if someone calls up and says, I want to get involved into property, I want to really learn, or I want to know how you do things or whatever, at some level or the other, we can get people involved and they can potentially progress on their journey. Especially I get a lot of calls where people are on jobs, they do full-time jobs, but they want to start something in property. And at that point, they can either become referral members, inner circle members, or reps, or they maybe can take home learning courses from us. Okay, everyone clear on that? Please raise your hand if everyone is clear on that basic bit. Okay, now let's say someone called me up and we're going to take multiple situations. In fact, do you want to give me certain situations that people would potentially call from? You know, maybe someone is in a job, maybe someone is in 2 jobs, maybe someone is already into property but struggling, or maybe someone is as a seasoned investor but at a certain aspect. Do you want to give me different 4 or 5 situations and let me show how I would pitch so you can see through? Falake or Ali, do you want to try this with me?
Yeah, I can think of a situation where...
Give me 4 or 5 different situations, please. Let's start with
one situation I think of is maybe someone is trying to do a BRR and has suddenly got stuck with the builder where he's run off.
Oh, and, yeah, that's a very common one, yeah.
Yeah, and he's completely stranded and he doesn't know where to go. You know, he's posting on Facebook saying, builders done me over. Yeah. I don't know what to do.
This is how I start, okay? So tell me a bit more about the project. Tell me a bit more about yourself. So I asked them for experience. I asked them for what the situation they are in, so the context they're in. Yeah. So let's say they say, I've done a couple of BRRs, or maybe I've not done any BRR, whatever the situation might be, but at least I know their experience level. Okay, before pitching, you must always get to know the person at least a little bit. So you're asking open questions in terms of, tell me a bit more about yourself, your experience, what have you done so far? How is your financial situation within the BRR project that you're working on? Because sometimes they're short of cash. Yeah. So you want to know that if there is. Yeah. Then you say, yes, I can bring a builder into the picture. Can you tell me the builder that you were working with? What kind of quotation did he give you? And how much money have you already paid? How much work is done? How much is left? So you kind of get a gist of the whole picture, if you know what I mean, Ali, there.
Yeah.
Now at that point, you say, okay, I'll be able to bring a builder into the picture. I will oversee the project for you. Okay. But then before you do that, before you get to the stage, you want to make sure that, let's say if the builder has done 20% of the work and 80% is left, that you agree. So for example, first for finding, let's say the project was costing 100 grand. Okay. And the builder has done 20% and 80% is left. Now let's say 80 grand worth of work is left. Okay.
Yeah.
Now before you do that, you want to work out if it's worth for you to take on that work at 80 grand. Most people, if let's say someone has just left them stranded, they will pitch a bit more in that situation. So instead of 80 grand, they'll probably go up to 85 or 90. Okay. Because that person is in a situation, right? Okay. And then we bring a builder into the picture and we can make money out of that. We can potentially make in a scenario like that about 10 grand. Okay. So all you say is, remember, one of the most important things in a situation like this for an investor is the speed or the timeline of completing the project. Yes, no? Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
And you want to make sure that you deal with that at the core of your pitch. That means you want to make sure that your builder can start, well, potentially faster than others, and that he can deliver the project on a certain period of time. I do always tell people, okay, Ali, that every builder is going to give you pain. You just want to find that gives you the least. Okay. There is no builder that's not going to give you pain. I have shared this in many pitches on like literally on podiums where there's like 200 people. I've literally said that, and that is always the case. Okay. But at the same time, you want to deal with the core of the matter, which is normally in that case is going to be the speed of the builder. Okay.
So I'm just now thinking that, okay, these services are available. If someone came to me as a rep, then would I say I'd have to go back to my team and discuss the case, and then we can come up with a plan for you?
The answer is yes. So can you see this, right, Ali? Share this with me, okay? That what I just shared is really based on the GROW model. I'm asking open questions. I'm asking because I want to know the context, the experience of the person, what kind of person this person is. Is he prepared to give us 5-10 grand to start with? Because no builder is going to start with no money. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to ask these open questions to be able to get to the core of the matter, and then finding the emotional button for why they are looking for a service in the first place. In most cases, an emotional button in this case is going to be they don't want to be necessarily too much involved into the project, and they want to just leave it up to the builder, so they could invest their time into maybe other projects or family or friends, or just enjoying freedom.
Okay. Yeah, in a situation like this, there's a lot of pain. So, obviously we've got to come up with solutions for him in different ways. But I'm assuming that you're the point of call to try and figure out a plan for him, and then go back to him to say, look, this is what we can offer. And having some sort of transparency and deliverability of the service, isn't it? Because we could say, yes, we can come in and intervene, and then we go there and it's just not up to scratch, or something that the builder will say, look, it's so bad, we cannot touch this.
In most cases, we can deal with it as long as it's a communicative person. What do I mean by that? There are certain people who are not communicative. Okay, like literally, it's like for them, it's like my way or highway. Those are the people you can't deal with. Okay,
Yeah.
But as long as it's a person who's prepared to listen and is prepared to, okay, say, you know what, I've got this problem, I need to deal with it, but even if it means that spending a bit more money. Okay. At the same time, Ali, like I said, one of the most important things in pitching is using the GROW model and
Sorry,
understanding.
Jack, you're breaking up, I think.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Please raise your hand if you can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you, Jack.
Okay, so one of the most important, well, two important aspects of pitching. One is knowing exactly who the person is and where is he coming from. And the second is knowing the emotional reason behind why they're looking to buy this particular service. Okay, these are the two most important things. And if you can deal with these two, you can pitch anything. Okay, do you want to give me another situation, Ali?
Okay, I'm trying to think. Right, yeah, so basically I'm in a situation of remortgage. And for some reason, I can't seem to, you know, I can't get more, not more lending. I can't get onto a new deal, and I'm on a variable rate.
And why is that?
Because my credit score, you know, is down. My income's gone down. Where, you know, I'm self-employed. My income's gone down, and no lender's willing to take my situation on board.
Okay, so how long is the self-employment do you have?
I've only got 12 hours employed, and then I was made redundant. Now I'm self-employed for only 1 year, making about 20,000.
Okay, so 1 year, as long as they have 1 year accounts.
Yeah.
And they're making, well, as long as they have 1 year accounts, we can get is this a buy-to-let mortgage or a residential?
Buy-to-let mortgage.
I can get a buy-to-let mortgage with 1 year self-employed accounts, and even if it means they only have 10,000 they're making on paper, I can get that.
Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Okay.
Do you want to give me another situation? Try these situations, because the only way to learn to pitch is deal. Okay, let me give you a situation. Okay, let's say a person calls, okay, and he's not prepared to open up about his situation.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll tell you why he doesn't want to open up, because this guy is a multimillionaire, and he's scared that he's going to call someone, and this guy is going to try and make money off him.
Okay.
I get this situation a lot, Ali.
Yeah.
I get this situation a lot. Okay. Let's say he's called me up and he says, you know what, tell me a bit more about yourself, what you do. He's asking me, okay, yeah. Tell me a bit more about yourself and how you can help me. Okay. I do part-time property and I do nothing else. So he's not actually even telling the truth. Okay. Yeah. He said part-time property. He's actually a full-time property investor. Okay. I get this a lot, I promise you guys. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he turns up and says, oh, then I tell him, okay, so what is it that you want to achieve? So he's asking me, I am not answering him, not until I know what he's all about. So I ask him, so what is it that you want to achieve? And he turns up and says, you know what, I really would like to find a BRR deal or a development deal. And I don't want to spend too much time. I just want to make sure that it is done as passively as possible. Okay. All right. Okay. Can I ask you, what's the budget? What kind of money do you have sitting around for me to be able to show you a BRR? Oh, I only have 100 grand. Okay. While he's telling me that, I would be looking at his body language and tone. Okay. But now my job is not to judge him or tell him something that he's not tell him anything that he's hiding from me, because my job is not to be confrontational for no reason. Okay. If he doesn't want to tell me, that's absolutely fine. Okay. And then I tell him, okay, that's fine. You know, we can potentially help you find a BRR deal. We charge an X amount of sourcing fee. Okay. An X percentage of sourcing fee. Normally at this time, when people call me up, I tell them 5% sourcing fee. Reason for 5% is because it's a lot more difficult to find deals now than it was about 2 or 3 years ago. Okay. Okay. So this guy says, you know what? Okay, that's fine. But what else do you do? So I tell him, okay, we provide property finance. So if you have, you know, either residential property or a buy-to-let, or if you have a development, or if you have a commercial property, we can help you get finance on that and or be able to help you refinance. Okay. Now I've shared this. He's going to keep that at the back of his mind. Okay. He's not going to say anything. When I'm not going to say anything, he's not going to say anything. Okay. I get this situation a lot, so I'm just sharing the normal situations that I get. Okay.
Yeah.
And then he says, okay, so tell me what's this? Like, I went on your website and it's a social media platform, but what's the benefit to us? And I'll tell him, okay, look, we have a referral program where if you refer any investors to us or any landlord to us and we get a deal done, we can split 50-50 with you. And it's free to join. Ali, do you want to tell me what his answer would be?
What's the catch?
There's no catch. There's no catch. It's a referral program. It's free to join. You bring an investor or you bring a landlord. As long as we get a deal done, we split 50-50. Absolutely no catch whatsoever.
Okay, so I could say I'm coming in as the investor. Can you give me a certain amount of return on that money?
Of course I can.
So I'm a seasoned investor. I'm looking at about between 15 to 18%.
No, we do not provide returns of that nature. Reason for that is anyone providing you that kind of return is most likely going to go bankrupt and eventually leading to you not being able to even get your capital back.
Okay.
Okay. That's how I would pitch it. But if, let's say, you did not say what you just said, Ali, but what would you say about the referral program? Do you think you would join?
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer, isn't it? Yeah. You've got nothing to lose.
Exactly. Now, that's the first level. Now I tell him that we also have something called an inner circle. Okay. Inner circle is where we will help you find deals which we provide to you, we bring you exclusively. Also, if let's say you're looking for investors and you want to pitch to investors, as long as the deal stacks up, we can bring an investor into the picture. That's the benefits of our inner circle. What would you say to that? Would you have a question at the back of that? Let's say you are that person, Ali.
Okay, so I'd be like, what's the credibility of the deals that are coming into your inner circle? Are you vetting them yourself? Because there might be 100 people on there.
We vet them. Yeah, we vet them. We don't completely vet them. It's not 100% vetting. It's more like a 50% vetting. But we request you to vet them as well. But because eventually you're the one taking deal and taking the risk. But we help you vet that deal as well.
Okay, so if I wanted to work with someone, I could get your opinion or advice on deals that they're providing. Is that right?
The answer is yes. But when we bring these deals, even though we charge a sourcing fee, but at the same time, remember, you as an inner circle member get exclusivity to a deal like that. So we first show it to our inner circle members. If they take it, great. If not, then we take it to our general registrar, people who are registered with us.
Okay. And is there a, well, with your project, is there a time frame within which you can deliver? Because I'm looking at maybe between 9 to 12 months return on my investment and return of my cash.
Are you talking about investing in our projects or a project for your own?
Your project.
Okay, so we are investing into hotels at the moment, and we normally take cash minimum 12 months.
Okay, and so what's the collateral on my money? Say, something goes wrong.
We give you personal guarantees and or charge on assets.
All charge on assets.
And or charge on assets depending on the project.
Okay. And is there opportunities to gain equity in your developments where, I've got shared equity?
The answer is yes, as and when those projects are available.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that your deals will come through as and when they're available.
That's right. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So as inner circle members, you get exclusivity to deals, as well as we help you find investors as long as the deals stack up that either you bring into the picture or we help you bring into the picture. Would you like to join inner circle? We only charge £40 a month.
Okay, and is there a minimum amount of investment that's required to join this inner circle?
No, 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 no. So depending on the project, if you're talking about investing into our projects, the minimum we take is 50,000.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you be interested in inner circle?
Yeah. So is this so I can if I don't want to subscribe anymore, I can come out of the inner circle whenever I want?
You can cancel whenever you like. There is no obligation. There's no written contract. You just pay monthly. Simple as that.
Okay. Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Let's give it a try.
Now, Ali, can you see I'm not selling? Can you see I'm not selling? I'm just sharing what we do behind the scene.
Yeah, lots of benefits, lots of benefits.
I'm talking about benefits, and I'm exploring what a person needs and or wants in the first place.
Okay, yeah.
Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying don't go and sell. Okay, selling equals serving. But if you go and serve, if you always keep at the back of your mind that you want to help that person that's in front of you, you're not actually selling, you're serving. Okay. And that changes everything, because when you're selling, people can feel that. But when you're serving, people feel differently. Okay. And at the same time, people don't like to be sold to, but they like buying. That's human nature. People don't like being sold to, but they like buying. That means if you change the word sales to serving in your mind and just ask questions based on what a person either needs or wants, what you will find is, and those questions are based on the GROW model, what you will find is you will naturally sell. Are you with me on this?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to give me another scenario? Make it difficult for me, okay? Because there are times people just don't open. And it does take, literally, I've had a time when I've pitched someone like literally 10 times. 10 times. And the 10th time that person opened. So you have to have patience sometimes. Yeah.
So yeah, another thing I can think of is, hi Jack, look, my mortgage interest rates have gone up so much that I literally am making no profits, and I'm paying out of my pocket at the moment. And you know, all the fixed rates are just not cutting it. You know, that's where I am. So I'm either thinking of getting out of the game or somehow reviewing my, you know, financial position within my portfolio. Is that something you can help me out with?
Well, this is a good question, Ali. Okay, so the first thing I would do is I tell him, okay, share some numbers on the deal, on the assets you have. So ask them about the mortgage balances, ask them about the equity that they have. So in essence, I'm asking what's the value of the potential value of the property and so on and so forth. So basically give it a good review of his portfolio. Once I've done that, I would at that point tell him that, look, one of the things about, you know, when you're pitching is your industry knowledge. I know personally buy-to-let is not necessarily a good investment. Okay. So I actually tell people that. Okay. I don't ask. I tell people that, look, buy-to-let is not necessarily the best space to be in. Okay. And if you have, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 20, 200 properties in buy-to-let space, maybe it's time to slowly start moving out of it and invest into something that's actually more profitable, at least at this moment of time. Does that make sense?
But I think what I'm trying to pitch is, you know, a lot of landlords are in that situation. A lot of, they're in the buy-to-let arena at the moment, right? They're not thinking of change of strategy, or that's been their bread and butter. And suddenly they're seeing these rise in interest rates, you know. What was the other thing the government has brought in where they can't offset the mortgage?
Oh yeah, Section 24.
Section 24, yeah. So, you know, they're in that situation and they don't know what to do, right? They've never been in a situation where they need to sell up
No.
And they've always been happy with the low mortgage interest rates and making good margins. So now they're in the situation where they're stuck, where they're literally paying out their pocket.
Yeah.
And they've not even thought about a different strategy, because maybe they're in their 50s. They just want to see whether this is still going to work for them or time to sell up.
Well, you know what? Before you even pitch, you know by heart, if they're in their 50s, they're already in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, there is two pitching things going on here, Ali. Okay. One is that we pitch them for property finance. Okay. So we review their portfolio. I would ask them how much mortgage, how many properties do you have? What kind of mortgage balances do you have? So I'd actually write this down. Okay. And then I'd ask right besides that to what is the actual value of those properties.
Yeah.
Okay. And then work out how much equity they have and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And if they want us to help them literally with property finance, I would just look at and speak with lenders on that. So that's literally one thing closed. Does that make sense? It's almost like I'm closing him on the property review and refinancing his portfolio. Okay.
Yeah.
In most cases, Ali, we can help them save some money when they're reviewing their portfolio. In most cases. Unless someone is stuck in a really bad financial personal situation, in most cases, we can help them save some sort of money. Okay. In many cases, actually, we can even help them pull out more equity.
Okay? Right. But pulling out more equity would mean paying high interest rates, isn't it?
It is. But at the same time, remember, you always share that with them if they want to use it. If they don't want to use it, that's up to them.
But I guess pulling more equity out means they can invest more in another property, right?
In a different strategy, maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's one level of closing a service, which is property finance.
Yeah.
Once you've done that, once you've reviewed their portfolio and said, okay, I can get you, for example, on your buy-to-let mortgage, let's say you're on 3.24, maybe I can get you 2.99, will help you save, let's say 100 on this mortgage, I can help you save 100 on another mortgage, 50 on another mortgage, so on and so forth. And then they can look at the review and say, okay, you can save me 500 a month on, let's say, 5 properties or 7 properties. Okay. Now they are at least happy with one level of service, which you can now close. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I would now pitch for the second level of service in this situation, Ali. The second service is you ask them if they want to invest in a different strategy. Because remember, buy to let is actually becoming a bad space. It's a much lower return on investment strategy.
Right. Okay.
And now if they want to invest into a different strategy, either it's a BRR or a HMO or a hotel, I would actually start to give them a bit more guidance on that and then leave them. And I'll tell you why I would leave them. Try never to close two things at the same time.
Yeah.
You're going too fast. Okay.
Yeah.
Humans are not ready for someone to close them on two different services at the same time on the same day. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
So you give them a bit more guidance on the second strategy. You start to review their portfolio, help them with that, maybe pitch them another next week. And then the next time when I would pitch, I would at that point pitch for either Inner Circle or I would pitch for PN Club, which is raising money from them and investing into one of our projects. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Are you with
me? There's mentoring there as well if they want to go down another strategy.
Exactly, right? Yeah, that's another level of service. But if they, for example, have some equity or some sort of financial resources available, I would pitch them for PE and club and not mentoring.
Okay.
And especially if they're in their 50s. Remember, if they're in their 50s, I would mentoring is something that I would pitch the last, only if they ask me for it.
Okay.
Okay.
And PN Club is where the deals are, yeah?
PN Club is where we bring deals and we take their money and we invest into our projects.
Right. It's not the Inner Circle. Sorry, sometimes
Inner Circle is slightly different. But I would pitch for Inner Circle and I'd also pitch for PN Club, which are, they are correlated, I can say.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, sorry, I was asking all the scenarios. I don't know where other
give me more scenarios. Because remember, all I'm really doing at this stage is using the GROW model. And remember, while you're using the GROW model, your aim is to find out the emotional trigger. Yeah. What is the emotional reason for their decision and make sure you deal with that emotional reason. I can tell you from my experience, in most cases, the emotional reason is they want to make more money for family, they want to make more money for freedom. That's all it is. In some cases, it may be the status, okay? But in most cases, they want to make more money either for freedom and or for family. Okay,
Yeah.
and the only way to get to that emotional reason is when you ask lots of questions and you keep digging with whys. Remember, I shared in one of the sessions, you ask why at least 3 to 5 times, even more if required, with different phrasing. Anyone remembers that? Please raise your hand if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're asking why, rephrasing similar questions, trying to dig deeper into the emotional reason for their need or want. Okay. Do you want to give me another scenario, Ali? Shall we give it to someone else?
Yeah, please. Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there because no one else
that's
is.
Good. Remember, that's the only way for you to be able to get a gist of the whole pitching levels, right? You have a bunch of services, property deals, property finance, builders, architects, planners, consultants, training, mentoring, and then the parallelly you have the referral member group, the PN inner circle, PN reps, training, mentoring again, and within that PN club. You need to be aware of everything for you to be able to learn how to pitch and who to pitch what in the first place. Because remember, if you pitch someone PN club and this guy doesn't have any money, doesn't make sense. You need to be ready for all of this, right? If you're pitching someone who already has money, but you're pitching in a circle, it may not even make sense. But you need to know by asking the right questions, by asking the questions based on the GROW model, open questions, to understand their context, to be able to pitch them what is the right service level that might benefit them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I don't know whether I'm speaking for myself, but I feel it will be useful to know what exactly each of the layers provide, so that you know when
all
you're
the
pitching.
pages, Ali, all the pages on Property Entrepreneurs Network. If you go to the website, literally on the footer, you will find every link to every single page that I've just shared about.
Okay, fair enough.
Literally. I don't think there's a referral page, but there's an inner circle page, there's training space, there's mentoring page, there's PN club page, there's finance page. What else? There is obviously properties on the portal itself. Okay. And then obviously they can find multiple services on the portal itself. So anyone who's actually going on the website can actually see through these services and different levels.
Okay, I'll have a browse through. Thanks.
Alan, do you want to give me different scenarios? Any questions? Michael, good to see you.
Are you okay?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Oh, well, just trying to battle on, as you know.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. I don't know when you joined, but we are just covering the pitching of different services and at the same time, cash flow things which we covered earlier. But
yeah, I just caught the back end of one of your things there, was saying about coming off buy to let. Well, I've got 4 properties on buy to let, and I'm actually thinking about changing those off buy to let because I don't feel the return I'm getting from them is good enough in a sense. I'm either thinking about paying them down or I don't know, just invest them in a different way around.
Reach out to me. I promise you I'll share with you about this. Yeah,
because I just feel as though it's not really doing much, especially I've only got a small number, but ultimately they just don't seem to be going the right way.
They don't. I mean, look, buy to lets, I started talking about these like good 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So they're not worth it, right? Section 24, they're bringing in selective licensing. There's all sorts of problems that, like, they're eventually going to become a pain for anyone. And 90% of the investors in UK are invested into buy to lets. They're all going to feel the pain very, very soon.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. All right. I'll reach out to you later on then.
Okay. Falaki, any questions you'd like to ask me? Anything you would like to, you want to give me a situation, anything?
Yeah, I'm just thinking. So if you have a scenario where somebody has some money, so maybe to the tune of like 100K, and they don't have any property knowledge, or want to get into property, they have had a bad experience with JV, and it's gone wrong for them, so they don't want to do that. Would you think that I would just be going down the route of mentorship for them to do it by themselves, or do you think any of the other services will be applicable?
I would pitch them in a circle. I won't pitch them mentoring as yet, because if the JV has gone wrong, I may dig deeper for mentoring, but I want to first pitch in a circle.
Okay. What with the inner circle? That's the one they just pay 40 pounds a month, isn't it?
Right,
And
yeah.
And then they get exclusive.
They get to see the deals first. They get priority over deals, and at the same time, if they're looking for more investors, we'll bring them on table, depending on the deal.
Yeah. Okay. And in terms of other professionals, so you're talking like architects, estate agents. Is there any group for just generally for them to be? I mean, estate agents, obviously, the market is hot for them now, so they might not be interested in joining.
Okay, yeah.
They're not. Yeah, I mean, there's an estate agent who have been trying hard to get on her books, and she's been very dodgy and very funny. So so I don't think. I mean, they're in demand now, so they're calling the shots. But things like architects and other professionals, is there like just a general free group, or do we? I mean, I'm happy to leave them on like my group and stuff. But is there any other service that one can upsell them to?
See, architects or planners, I just introduce. Okay. If they close a deal, I get a very small commission at the back of that. Okay. But again, the aim in this case is not necessarily to make money, but to help someone out. And if you bring them a decent planner, a decent architect in place, and you're getting a small commission at the back of that, but you're helping them, the first step is helping someone. They would then want to do business with you on other levels.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I have collaborations already that you can reach out and I can help you with that. Okay. But like I said, the aim is not necessarily to make lots of money out of that, but to just help someone out.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay.
Thank you.
At the same time, if someone came to me and said, I've had a bad experience with JV, and I have 100 grand sitting around, I would, like you said, I would either pitch about inner circle and on training mentoring, but at the same time, I want to know if they are prepared to, for example, take on a deal from us potentially, and then maybe let us project manage it for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay,
that's another level which will kind of, it just creeps in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel they were ready for mentorship. From the discussion. Yeah. So they just kind of, they don't realize they need the mentorship, maybe more like, and
the way I do it for Locke is by literally, I would just ask someone, what would the cost to you be if you had another JV difficulty?
Yeah.
Okay. Now remember, I've just touched the really emotional point there. Okay. Yeah. If this guy's, I'm not going to ask him how much money he's lost, right? Or how much pain he went through, but he's probably gone through a lot of emotional pain with that guy. Okay. And if I say, what would be the cost to you is, he's literally thinking, I just can't go through this. Am I right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point you say, how about if I just give you a bit more guidance on this? And then you pitch mentoring.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
You have to touch that emotional button through your questioning.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And I think you can see, I asked that question literally on my toes just by thinking of the situation. Do you want to give me more situations? And I'll ask you the core question of emotional trigger.
Can't think of any other. I mean, most of the people I come by are people who don't have any experience with property and they want to get in, and it's more of, okay, so where do I start, for instance, or how do I get in?
I normally, people like that, I'd normally tell them, start with some basic training.
Yes.
Because the cost of training is about 1 million times less than getting a project wrong.
Yes.
Literally, if you get a project wrong, you are 5 years behind. Paying for a training, a very basic startup training, is not going to cost you tens of thousands. It's just going to cost you a few hundred.
So things like, what kind of examples would you have for basic training? So one of the things I do is like, maybe like a book or something for them to go and read and follow up on that.
I wouldn't say a book. I would tell them start with one of our basic trainings, start from like 95 a month or whatever. You give them access to a bunch of videos, let them start.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And most people are not hesitant paying 95 a month.
Okay.
Okay. But you give them access to like 20, 30 videos, and then they can go and watch, and then they come back and say, oh, you know what? I'd like to learn more about other strategies and so on. And then you can sell them the whole package.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I do that. I do that occasionally. If I see the person is not prepared to pay a large sum of money, but is prepared to pay maybe 95 or 195 or 295 for like training, I would give them that. That's not mentoring. That's just training. They get access to the videos. They watch them. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Noreen, any questions? Any situation you want to give me? Not sure if she can hear me. Shelly, can you hear me?
Yes, Jack.
Do you want to give me any questions? Any situations?
Maybe you can give me a 1 hour later to talk to you about my remortgage.
Okay. I will deal with that. I think you're going through with Josephine, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll ask me this question on Sunday. Okay.
Sunday. All right.
Sunday, yes, please. Yeah, it's a quieter day for me. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
But remember, what we are talking about here, everyone. I'm going to come back to you, Roji. Okay. What we are talking about here is literally oxygen. Okay. Like if you are not pitching for services or for money to investors, to developers, to people who are literally getting into property, if you're not pitching, you're just going to be short of oxygen. That means short of money. Yeah. You have to learn to pitch. And pitching, you can change that word to serving in your mind. So what it does is now you're not selling, you're really serving people, but it's literally at the core of you surviving and thriving in your business. Okay. I cannot insist enough. Okay. If you do not have 10 grand as a bare minimum coming into your account, I personally don't know how to sleep if I don't have that kind of money coming in. Yeah. Okay. I don't know anyone who should sleep if they're not making that kind of money. You should be really just out there pitching like mad. Okay. With a lot of respect. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Jack.
And that's what I'm talking about, right? Literally pitching, either services or money or whatever it is, literally pitching all day long. Roji, do you have any questions? Any scenarios you want to give me?
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi, Jack. So I don't know whether this question would be apt at this moment, but as we were discussing, I am looking for investors.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned that exclusivity is there in your investors group, and that is where
only if the deal stacks up, G, and we are talking about a certain kind of deal stacking at a certain level. I'm not talking about 20, 30, 50 grand for a rent-to-rent model.
Okay.
I'm not talking about that. Okay.
Okay.
I can't find an investor who's going to bring in that kind of money. There's no investor who's going to invest like that.
Okay.
Okay.
So for rent-to-rent, Jack, what is it that you are able to advise to people like me? Because
go and pitch big. Go and pitch big.
Yeah, but pitch big means like you only just now said, 50, 100 grand may not be right. So what does that mean?
No, so let me give you clarity on this. Okay, you asked a good question. Let's say an inner circle member reaches out to me and says, you know what, I've seen this BRR deal, purchase price 100 grand, refurb cost 100 grand. Can you get me 50,000 pound equity from an investor? My answer is no. I can't. Remember, when they join an inner circle, I don't promise them that I'm going to bring them money. The reason I don't do it is because at that level, I can't bring in any equity investor. I can't. No investor is going to bring 50 grand for a BRR deal. They're only going to make 20, 30 grand. No investor is interested at that level. It's when deals are over £1 million in cost and there's at least 25% net profit margin. That's when I would bring a investor. That's a development deal or a conversion deal. Okay.
So
if they are into rent-to-rent model, let me finish. If they are into a rent-to-rent model, I always tell people you can pitch in the group, the inner circle members, the main group members, and there's someone in that group who will potentially invest with you. There's about in total like 70, 80 people in these two groups. Okay. Someone is going to invest with you if you pitch to everyone. Okay. There are people sitting with money. It's just like you're not reaching out to everyone. You're not speaking with people. You're not posting. You just don't exist. You're in the group, but you don't exist.
So when you say we need to be pitching, does it mean we need to be pitching to the group, or does it mean
everyone that you know, everyone that you're connected to, everyone that you can think about?
Okay. Now that is where the question, the issue is, because say even if we look at each of the groups, there may be 200 people. Now, definitely we don't know all of them.
Well, get to know them.
All of them, half of them also we don't know. So in that scenario, what would be your advice to go about
share content? Vinodji, the only reason I know all of these people, the only reason all of these people are connected to me and or company PEN is because I share content and value. You are not doing that. Okay? I can pick up the phone and speak with any one of these people that's connected to PEN in all these 50 plus WhatsApp groups, all of these Facebook groups, all of these LinkedIn groups, all of these Telegram groups, and all of the people in our email database. Okay. And the only reason I'm able to do that is because I share value out there on regular basis. Okay. So if I need money, they already know me. I'm already showing them performance. I'm already sharing what I do and that I am the investor they want to work with. And if you're not doing that, you know, I've been saying this forever. You need to create your content. You need to share value. You need to connect. You need to grow your network. I've been saying this from day one, and I repeat this 500,000 times. And now when you get to a point where you need money and you haven't done all that work, there's no one to invest with you. Are you with me?
Yeah.
I literally imagine, why do you think I go out and interview people? That's my time. That's my personal time. I make videos and put it out there. I do these events. I don't make any money directly from these events. Okay. In fact, we lose money. The last event I did, I barely spent £10,000 just paying salaries to people to fill that event. So we could grow the network, allowing me to be able to pitch to more people and attract more deals. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're not doing that on a regular basis. You've got to do that. You cannot grow a business like a property business without doing regular events and bringing value on the table. Okay. So you need to go and do your interviews. You need to create more content. You need to share your challenges. You need to share your triumphs. You need to start sharing about your journey and then become the person in the investors and or the landlord's mind to be the person they want to work with.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Okay, but coming back, even if you are not in that situation, you want to, if let's say pitch to the existing people that are already within PEN, start now. Start now. Just write in the group, hey, here is me. I am Vinod Kumar. I am the PEN representative of a certain region. And I'm going to be messaging you with the permission of Jack. If that's okay with you, I want to just speak with you, get to know you, get to see where the synergy level is.
Okay, so the first message would only be that.
No, that message, you do it in the group. So
Okay.
when you actually personal message them, they're already, yeah, at least, well, most of them would be prepared.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I
in
would do
the
that.
group, you put in this message and then individually send them messages.
That's right. But remember, you're not pitching for money. Okay.
Okay.
You're first pitching to be able to serve someone, to be able to see where the synergy level is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The first step is to get to know a person. Who is this person behind this face? What is it that they are finding challenging that I can help them with? Don't just go out there and sell. If you're just going to go and sell, you're not going to sell. That's just been my experience. Okay. Go and get to know a person. Spend time in building those relationships that will eventually at some point lead to business. I learned this a long time ago, that if you learn how to nurture relationships, in about 5 years' time, you will close business with every single person that you've been connected with. 5 years. Are you with me on this?
Yeah.
I'm a prime example. I started nurturing these relationships right from October 17. We are in 22. Okay. I'm sitting on nearly 200 active finance cases. 200, Vinodji. Okay. And the only reason for that is I've been nurturing these relationships, and now slowly people are reaching out to us to help them with finance, with property deals, training, mentoring, and so on and so forth, a whole bunch of services.
Yeah.
Okay. But I've been providing value even when I was not making money. Even when I was not making money from PEN. I was making money from other sources, but I was not making money from PEN. But I was still, every morning I'd wake up and bring value on the table for the people that I've been connected to. In fact, some of the people in these groups, they've been connected to me for nearly 20 years from other businesses, and they still reach out to me for guidance. They still reach out to me for guidance. And then when they need finance, when they need a property deal, when they want to invest, who do you think they're going to ask?
Yeah.
Okay. But you need to nurture. But again, coming back to your question, and I understand the immediate need. If I was you, I would do nothing else but just pitch. And not services, but for money. And money that you'd potentially go and invest into other projects, allowing you to make more money, that you will return investors' money back with profits, and that will allow you to make some money for yourself. I would do that. If you are not doing that on a regular basis, it's not going to happen. Okay. Like I said, I literally switched off everything. 3 weeks straight out, I was pitching for money. Okay. And like I said, the effect of that now is that we have 9 investors lined up who are either prepared to invest with us and or are prepared to buy deals from us. And I'm talking about people who are literally sitting on a few millions. And these are not the people who you would call and they can say, oh, I'm not sure. These are not the people. These are people who are going to look at your deal. If they like the deal, they'll buy it or they will invest. Okay. Okay. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah.
Go pitch. The more you pitch, the more you improve. The more you improve, the more better you get at it, the more money you can raise, and use the good model, please. Okay.
Okay.
Lavanya, any questions? Any scenarios you want to give me? A difficult one, maybe?
Yeah, I can give you a difficult one.
Please,
okay?
please do.
When you raise an investor fund, when you're returning the money back to the investors, how do you ask the investors to pay tax, or what do? Do you withhold that tax and pay to hedge funds?
No. You have nothing to do with tax. You agree a certain amount of return, okay? Or if you're giving them first charge, whatever that might be, or profits or whatever, right?
Okay.
You give them their return. Taxation is their problem. Nothing to do with you.
So, because the money has been taken into SPV, yeah? So
money has been taken into a
special purpose vehicle.
In an SPV, yeah, in an SPV, yeah.
So when you're showing as as a borrower, I have to declare my account. Yeah?
That's right, yeah.
So when you're declaring the account, what is this money gone under? What are sort of accounting we need to do?
So I am not an accountant, but I can still answer this question for you. It's a very simple formula. The money that comes in into your account, it needs to come with the reference investor's money or investment. Okay. And when you pay the profits, it says either it says interest on the money invested or profits. That means it becomes an expense on the company bottom line.
So it will be declared as an expense, not as
That's
a
right, yes.
tax.
As a finance expense, yes.
Okay. So even that is an expense, right? You don't pay taxes on expenses. Okay.
That's right, yes. Yes. So keep it simple. Yes.
Okay. For example, if you're doing the due diligence, if you're raising the funds, from an audit point of view, let's look at from an audit point of view. This is a limited company. I'm raising only the funds from 2 people. What sort of audits do I need to have on that special purpose vehicle?
What do you mean? What sort of audit? What do you mean?
So, for example, tomorrow, if anybody comes in from HMRC and they want to audit,
that's fine. That's fine.
I need to have some sort of references or something like I have taken this from these people.
Okay, let's talk about So Lavanya, let's talk about profit and loss. Yeah, let's talk about profit and loss sheet. Okay, money coming in.
It's not P&L sheet, Jack. Sorry.
I know what you told Lavanya. You're making it complicated. Something that's actually in and itself is simple. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Money coming in comes with a reference saying investors' money. When you pay the profits and or interest, it's an expense.
I understand.
Nothing to do with their taxation on you.
I got that. I got what you said. It will be a tax as a reference as an expense. I understand about that. But what I mean to say is AML check, anti-money laundering check. Do I need to do?
Oh yeah, you need to. So the way I do it is, okay, I would first of all qualify them as 3 different level investors. Okay, the 3 different level investors is basically one is retail investor, one is sophisticated, and one is high net worth.
Okay.
Okay, and I would ask for IDs. I would make sure that if the money is coming from a job saving, ask them for statements, basic stuff. Keep all of that. That's basic anti-money laundering check.
Can you send me that paperwork, please, if you don't mind me asking? Sorry.
I don't mind. Ask me on a quiet day, okay?
That's fine, no problem.
It's 3 levels of investors. We have the retail investors, we have the sophisticated investors, and then we have the high net worth, okay?
Okay, so there is a range of the finances there. When it is a sophisticated investor, 100 plus.
No, it's not about the level of money, it's their experience. And the more experience they have, the easier your life is. The less experience they have, the more you need to be careful.
Okay. So if they are a basic investor, what do I need to verify?
I will share all of that with you. Okay, ask me on a different call. This is not what this session is all about. Okay?
Sorry, Jack.
But it's not very difficult. It's just very, very simple.
Okay. I didn't know what the topic you were talking about.
Sorry, say that again.
I didn't really understand what the topic you are talking about. Sorry.
So today's session is all about pitching for services.
Pitching for services. Okay.
Pitching for services. So either you're pitching for PE and services or you're pitching for money. We're talking about the actual pitching in and itself.
Okay. So pitching, when it comes to pitching, yes. Another question is, I want to look for like 20 units, let's say, for example, and I have only a HMO experience now. How can I pitch the investors, or how can I make it, make myself as investable?
That's a very good question. You're jumping from a single unit to a 20, and now you're pitching investors.
That's right.
Okay, that's a very good question. I think your enthusiasm plays a big part. Okay, look, enthusiasm is contagious. When someone is speaking with me, I personally always wanna it's almost like I want that enthusiasm to be passed on to that person. It's almost like I'm looking at this 20 unit project, and I know I'm excited, and I want to pass on that excitement in my pitch through the grow model. Okay.
Yeah.
You can't insist too much about your experience, because if you do that, you're only doing 1 unit. You can't go from 1 unit to 20 with someone else's money. Okay. The only way someone is going to invest that money with you is if they see you excited, if they see that you are confident, and if they see that you're enthusiastic about it.
All right, I understand. I can see your enthusiasm in hotels and those sort of things.
Exactly, yeah. I'm a prime example. Sometimes I may not be able to even explain, but here I am, a prime example.
But sometimes the investors need a bit more than enthusiasm. So
they need a lot more. Be prepared with your numbers.
For example, just to raise.
Sorry, Lavanya, I think we lost you there. You're breaking, Lavanya.
Sorry, I'm driving while. Just to raise 100,000 investment for the property deal now, currently, which we are working on conversion. We had to show the property and everything. So, for example, if that is a similar situation, how would I convince people that I'm confident enough to build 20 units?
Okay, Lavanya, let me share with you something that I'm doing that you can see through, and most of you can see through. Okay. When I get a call from someone, 9 out of 10 people do not ask for my experience. Do you know why?
Okay.
Do you know why?
No idea.
Because they've already checked me online. They've checked the videos, they've checked the interviews, they've checked Founder PN, they've gone on the website, they have checked my story on my personal website. They have checked a lot about me before they come to me. Can you see the lots of touch points?
Yep.
Now, let's say if I was pitching for 20 units, and if I've not done 20 units, and if now you take it to an investor who's going to invest, let's say £500,000, £1 million, they are not just going to look at all the touch points, they are going to look at a very strong appraisal in place. Okay?
So deal appraisal, you mean?
Deal appraisal. And if I was to give you an example, I think you might have seen this. I shared the analysis of a 100-room hotel. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You might have missed. Some of the people might have seen that. Yes? Raise your hand if you've seen that. Please raise your hand if you've seen the appraisal of a 100-room hotel. Well, I did share it in the group. If you have missed it, then you are at a disadvantage, okay? But I shared that, and coming back to you, Lavanya, I prepared that appraisal for an investor to show him that I know the depth of what I'm talking about. Okay, so yes, they want to see more than enthusiasm, more than confidence, more than experience, more than the touch points. Now they want to see real in-depth appraisal, which you need to be prepared for. Can you hear me, Lavanya?
Yes, I can hear you, Jack.
So if you can prepare a really good appraisal with a really good pitch deck, okay, that's what people are looking for. Remember, people still go out there and raise 100 million for their project, even if they've had no experience whatsoever, based on a pitch deck, based on enough in-depth research on their product or service and or market. Yes, no?
Okay. Yeah, I understand what you mean, but I came across a little bit difficult questions while I'm raising these funds. For
do you want to share the question with me?
It's not about the question. It's about trusting the people as well. Like, they wanted to see the project. They've shadowed me. They followed me.
Okay.
Many questions shoot out. What if this? What if that? What if I die?
That's all normal. That's all normal. Investors will ask you questions you cannot even imagine.
One question was, what if I die? And
oh yeah,
my
I promise you, if I get that question, I always tell them there's enough equity in my properties. So personal guarantee.
But if you're raising multiple investors and more than your funds, they might need to verify a proof, or I don't know how it works.
Not every investor is going to ask you, what if you die?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But remember, you need to go and pitch so much so that you get used to of all these questions so hardcore that you can remember everything on top of your head. Okay. I literally pitched for £1 million the other day. Okay.
I think I need more structure, and as you mentioned, deal appraisal might be
really good. Yeah, really good deal appraisal, Lavanya. That's at the core. Imagine when you see these, shows people going and pitching. They have not got touch points and enthusiasm and confidence. Some of them don't have anything. They just have very good enough market research and appraisal.
Yeah, that might be the better way of doing things. And yeah, okay.
And remember, it's not about getting everything right. It's sometimes getting one thing right. Okay. Sometimes it could be your appraisal. Sometimes it could be your confidence. Sometimes it could be your touch points. It could be anything. You just need to get, it's almost like keep practicing till you get to a point where you get most of these things right.
Okay. I understand. Thanks. All right.
Okay. All right. Okay. I know it's not easy. It's just that, you see, you find it challenging because you have not done it enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
I remember, literally, I can remember when I'm reflecting back on my life, I remember pitching when I was 15. I remember pitching when I was 16. I remember pitching when I was 18. I remember pitching when I was 21. I remember pitching when I was 23. I remember pitching every single time in my life. And some of these have been really, really large contracts, okay? But you need to pitch so much so, you get so used to of objections that you can overcome them. And remember, I promise you one thing, if you use the GROW model, you will be surprised how easy you will find all of this. Just by getting to know the person well and finding that emotional trigger, okay, you can pitch someone really well. If you don't get to their emotional trigger and they're asking you 500,000 questions, you'll just be answering all the questions. You'll never get any funding because you haven't got to the emotional trigger.
Yeah, I understand, Jack.
So an example, Lavanya, would be someone comes to shadow you, spends a whole day with you and walks away and doesn't invest. The reason is you have not used the GROW model and got to the emotional trigger in their life. You've not met their need. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It does.
So they could spend a day, they could spend a year with you. And if you've not met their actual emotional trigger need or want, you are not going to get anywhere. Okay.
Yes, Jack. Yes.
All right, guys. This is today's session. I'm going to shoot off because we have Falak's event. I need to go and promote that as well, starting in about 20-25 minutes. Have an absolutely amazing day. We'll continue this session on Monday, okay? Because I really want everyone to get a gist of this. Remember, this is oxygen. If you are not pitching, you're not making money from your services, you're not get money from investors, you can't go too far in business, okay? Have an absolutely amazing evening. And like I said, we're going to continue this next week, okay? Take care, guys.